10:23 Wednesday, midday. I'm doing my public midday video to just show where things are at and potentially look at some, plays that could make us some money in the end of the day or keep us involved. So hopefully you read the disclosure. Let's get to it. My name is Scott Rutledge, Chief Strategic Officer of T3Live.com. Thanks for tuning in. This is our midday video. I do it a few times a week. It's 11:34 at 10 on October 23rd. We're in the middle of earnings season. This morning we came in, the market was a little bit lower. I think we were down 6-7 handles, giving a little bit of downside follow through to yesterday's rollover in the afternoon, which is always good. As a trader, you like when things close strong, you like follow through the next day to open up. When things close weak, you like things to follow through to the downside. So if you get short, you can cover lower, and if you sold while things kind of broke levels the prior day, you could buy them back cheaper or test them cheaper. And that's typically what I think traders like to see, besides buying great patterns that resolve from tight ranges with leadership, et cetera, et cetera. So anyway, I posted the chart of the S&P this morning saying, hey, let's see if we reclaim 29.95 and hold the 8-day like we've been holding, to see if there's some commitment to this upper area of the trend. And here we are if you look over. So came in today, and basically not really knowing what would be happening here. Yesterday we couldn't hold 3008, which were those two pivots that we showed you to see if we can get some momentum, and there was no momentum. Taking a closer look here so you could see it. So I know I was long the SPYs, so I got rid of them when it didn't hold, and then today, if you sold it when it didn't hold 3008, you could have been buying it when it reclaimed 29.95. What was 29.95? That was yesterday's low. In order to continue lower, what does it have to do? It has to stay below a prior day's low. What did it do? Not that. And it held the 8-day. So I don't trade the futures, I trade the SPYs. So the SPYs are what reclaimed 298.91. So yesterday, I was long, and I'm like, what? Can't hold 324. I'm going to get out of the way, besides my positions. And then today, I'm back in it. You could have been able to buy it, back when it reclaimed that, saved yourself $1 or so. And now we'll see. On the constructive side, still above the 8-day. We've been above this 8-day ever since this big gap up here. So for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 8 sessions, we've been in a pretty much constructive new active sequence that traders like to hold a bunch of positions, whether it's options and stocks. And listen, it hasn't been so easy to find stocks that have continuity. Thank goodness for Apple. Apple gave us, lots of nice trades in the past few weeks, and today I'm actually not in it. I actually made a little bit of money fading the open just for a quickie, but that's only a quickie. I call a quickie a Q trade. A Q trade is a counter trend trade against the direction for quick cash flow, not the real money trade. The real money trade has been buying dips and staying with Apple for weeks, months, years, decades, let alone today for 80, 90 cents to the downside. So anyway, but we are traders and we get to do that as traders. So for now, can't really say, you can't really be so unhappy with the way the SPYs are trading. So this is, my statement at the top. I always put the chart before this, sellers took control towards the end of the day yesterday, which it did, and fell to hold 300.24, which it did. See if it could reclaim 298, 298.91, which it did. All if this happens, then do that. If that happens, then do that. Keep it simplified. So let's move on. Q's obviously not as strong, but did also, reclaim this 191.79. Didn't take back half of yesterday. It's kind of on the weaker side. Yesterday fell to hold 193.67, so that could have been your out. If you got out yesterday 193.67, you could have been a buyer back here, in the hole. And now overall, it's still not great, but still holding this gap from 2 weeks ago. As long as it holds the gap, you can't get too bearish, considering what happened with the semis. One of the problems was Texas Instruments this morning, and I showed you guys a 200-day, and look at that, right there, boom, nice opportunity for those of you guys who bought it on the 200-day. So that's why we map out levels. So in my morning note, I wrote, hey, let's see if Texas Instruments makes its low in the first 5, 15, 30 minutes versus, open there, can rally, and then go down for the rest of the day, because that wouldn't be good for tech. Instead, it bounced off of it. So now, it wasn't as bad. The banks still, chugging along. It's good that JP Morgan's taking a day off at this point. Had a heck of a move. We were talking about the strategy the day after earnings when it held 118. Some of you guys are still in it. It's a little extended. I've been in Bank of America for days. Ultimately, I do think it can get to 33 plus, but trade the size you can handle. Right now, it is a little extended from the 8 day, so you might get a shake here and there. But when that happens, the dips are buyable, especially if you sell into some strength, which is what I'm trying to do as I sit in this. I don't like to trade the banks because they don't move so well, so I'm trying to use this as a swing trade to let the market make me some money, because it's just one of the positions. Got to have a stock that the market can make you money without you having to worry about how to trade it all the time. Anyway, that's that. Citigroup, some guys are still in it. Gave you guys a strategy to buy Verse 69, and now look at it above the trend line. Don't be too cute here. Just hold it verse levels. Don't add too much and ruin your prices. And then in high beta tech land, very, very mixed. Some broken names keep giving you some opportunities to buy in the hole for a red to green trade, how I call it, just for tactical cash flow. And then some of the obviously the better names, you have to be a bit careful with, because there's not that many of them. So this morning Netflix was down like a buck. I'm like, hey guys, maybe it tries to go green and push a little bit, for a cute trade. Even though it's broken, you can't just keep pressing and pressing. Exits and entries matter. So anyway, Netflix did it again. Gave you a small little trade, and it's still broken though. It's very, very broken. Okay, and these moving averages will probably be some resistance. Not much to do there. What's not broken is Google. Google, I posted the chart this morning. I'm like, hey, look at this nice, consolidation into the 8 day. It was down $2 pre-morning call video. I said if it reclaims 1240, go with it, and it reclaimed it, and it took this out. And to me, this looks like one of the better technical setups in FANG, that if it delivers on numbers in a week or so, this thing could be 1300 plus. It's just a matter of your risk. Today was a good day trade, at least for some of you. This was the language. This was a chart. So some of you who aren't on Rather Relax, I'm like, I post 14 to 20 names with an active plan. So what I do is I put the note out, and then I also post charts. And in the chart, I say Google still looks like best in breed. Earnings are coming soon. Today, meaning today, we'll see how it handles 1236, which was the 8 day at the time. There it is. And if it reclaims 1240, well, it reclaimed 1240, I think, before I actually got to my desk at 9:15 after doing the morning call video, and then boom. So it looks pretty good. Amazon's been a bit more wishy-washy. I didn't tweet to Rather Relax. I said I bought more calls. I bought some more calls today. It was down like 10, 12 bucks. The virtual trade floor did see it. I don't still think it's a shoe-in that it's going to pay me, but Goldman Sachs came out with a note saying buy calls ahead of earnings, and it was just that part of the range. And now Amazon looks a little bit better. Not a lot better, a little bit better. I actually lost money buying the shares down 10 when they went down 18. So that's why I'm like, let me buy a little bit more calls, even though, it's hard to find anything that's doing so well. So anyway, bought some calls really after earnings. If this thing is going to do something special and tradable with some momentum, it's going to have to get above 1786 and 1790. And if it does, then maybe 1853. It's going to need, solid print, good guidance for that to happen. If that happens, we'll make some good money with our options, and maybe it'll be even tradable after hours. We'll see. Facebook's been a choppy mess. Yesterday couldn't, this is the whole commentary. Couldn't break and hold above that 190, and then it broke below this prior low to get some people out, and then took out that, so it got more people out. But today it was down 50 cents when I was in here at 8:15, and by the time I walked to my desk, it was up a buck, and now it just rallied back up to, oh, look at the quinky dink. This is where it broke below, and this is where it rallied back to. That's why it's good to figure out where these pivot points are. So if you're trading a bounce, you want to know where the easy bounce will meet resistance and when it gets tougher. And if you're looking to short it, you don't want to short it too fast, because if they keep it going, you don't want to get squeezed out and then all of a sudden it fades. All little things to think about. Snap, friggin' pain in my butt. Wow, I got stopped out of this again. Holy cow. What an annoying name. So anyway, I am stopped out of this. I lost money on my calls, and I thought I would, I deserve it, I guess. I thought I was, chilling up here. I had Snap into, first of all, I had it all the way down there, and then I got back toward the descending channel, played it into here, sold it into the double top. Haven't really looked at it since. Said here, hey, look at this. I deserve to be able to make money. I didn't pay up here. Bought some options, and yesterday failed, and now it's below the 200-day. Something must have happened there, I guess. And I had to stop. Right now it's 11:44. I was long it, put a stop in, broke the low of the day. I'm out. I'll lose money, but it is what it is. Better than losing more than you need to. And now it did come all the way from down here. So as much as you think, hey, look at it, it's pulled in, look where it came from. And I did have it in my regular all access report, or that I put out every year in December as a great little January effect play. But now anyone who's played it later, definitely not doing so well. But at least options risk is premium paid, and now I don't know, maybe some people made some money short there, not me. I got to look to make sure that my stops got filled, which I'm sure it did. Anyhow, let's continue. Here's what it is. Twitter. I'm not too optimistic about this one either. I again sold this really well into this false breakout, which turned into a fast move lower. So I figured, hey, if I sold it well into the false breakout, maybe I could buy it here, for an earnings play. But it's gonna have to have earnings that deliver. So I'm in some options. I'm not gonna have the stock, and we'll see. It has to get a pretty decent move for me to even make money back there. So probably won't do so well here. I thought it was gonna have a pre-market, earnings move, and it didn't happen either. So anyway, I'm not buying more in the hole to throw good money after bad. I'll just see how it reacts after numbers, but technically it's not acting so well here. Is what it is. What are you gonna do? Everybody loved it up here. Now nobody talks about it down here. It's just the way the market is. What else? Oh, I'm in, let's see how these are doing from yesterday. So I'm in a little Uber. Why am I in Uber? Because did a little bit of a red dog reversal yesterday because Lyft said it would be profitable early. So I figured, hey, if it's any good, it could work higher. So I did get involved. My stop is down here. So it's not so bad. It was also, sometimes you have to just hold some things so you could trade them back and forth and get to know them. Obviously, this one is not a great name. It was okay into here until that breakout failure, and then it broke there, and then it broke there. So now here I'm like, hey, maybe it's going to start a different active sequence. So I bought a little bit yesterday, sold some strength, bought some back, and now I'm holding some versus the low. Same thing with Lyft. Lyft, a little inside day here. Maybe tries to go sideways and then take back the 50-day at some point. Again, it was down 60 cents. I owned a little bit from yesterday. I was able to buy it. Wound up going up 40 cents. That's 70, 80 cents. That's 2-3%. For a little name like that, trade some, hold some, but not compelling. But we didn't get suckered into here the way the rest of the world did, and we have the art of the first day to tell us to stay out of the way, that the supply was 10 times bigger than the demand, and then all this. So with that being said, maybe there's something a little bit better there. It's a big maybe. I did get some of this. It's one of the leaders out there. Obviously, breakouts are hard to find, but we'll see if we can get above this and stay above this and go. My stop is 89.50. Nice trade, nice name from the IBD, whatever it's called, the IBD 50. Nice chart. You don't see a lot of these, but we'll see if that continues. Apple, fantastic trade for us guys. This has been something, thank goodness, which is the reason why I'm having a really good October, is because this stock is traded by the rules. What do I mean by the rules? I mean, you could buy it, add to it, buy a dip, sell some strength, and overall, lots of different times to be in a really good swing trade here. For me, I sold it yesterday. So now if I sell it yesterday, it's going to be hard for me to buy back, so I'm just going to have to trade it here and there. But I had it for a really nice swing on this day into that 3-day move, then sold it, bought it back here, and then added to it, and then added to it, and then I sold it yesterday. So these nice 3-4 day trades have been good in Apple, and now it's just a little too extended for my taste. A little red dog reversal yesterday got me out, and now I'm just gonna let it go. I'm gonna let it go. It's not not a full-fledged setup for me now. Yesterday after hours, after the reversal and things were down, it was down 80 cents. I'm like, oh great, I sold it 241. I could buy back 239s or so, or 238 and changes. And then it gapped up because of Katie. Meanwhile, Katie, I'm not going to say what she did, but I think she was lowering her estimates back near the lows, and now she's raising them near the highs. That's what analysts usually do. But anyway, we've had a lot of good trades in the middle, and right now it's just not that compelling for me, so I'm just going to avoid until something else. Doesn't mean it's an easy short either, guys. Roku, pretty tight in here. You know, the longer it holds this little spot, maybe we develop another bull flag. This was a really good trade for us down here. Remember going into Yom Kippur, I bought it and told you guys about it, and then had a nice trade and then another nice trade, and now, you know, it's got to hold in here and do some work before maybe going again if it's going to go again. Microsoft is after the close. This channel, it's been down for like 6-7 days. Over here, it looked like it was going to break out. I remember because I was long it and then got stopped out here, but better than holding it all the way down to there. So anyway, now you'll see, you know, it's going to report after the close. It's going to have to be a very, very solid with good guidance. And then here's your momentum area. If it happens not to be, then here's your 200-day. It'll be very important, I think, for after the close and tomorrow, but we'll see. I don't have any calls or puts into it. I'm just going to wait and maybe trade it after. So with all that said, it is 11:50 on October 23rd. The market is trying to hold these upper areas. You know, there's not a lot of power here, meaning, you know, we haven't been able to break above that 3,024 and go. I think that's because of the mixed faulty action in tech where things just aren't clear cut. Obviously, the semis, you know, downgrading guidance wasn't good for the overall heartbeat of tech, but and then also the way software has been battered and bruised. At least for today, remember we talked about NOW. I actually tried to rally off lows. Some people say, "Hey, Red Dog, give me a little, you know, lesson on how a stock goes from special to faulty to a short." Well, anyway, this was special pretty much this entire year leading into June. And right here, when it broke below the 821 day, which is when I say you get out of a momentum name, you get out of the way. Then it broke this trend line and stayed below it, and then you know, so that was your first clue to get out of the way. Then you didn't have to get caught in this whole mess. Then, if you remember here, this was hard. Here, some guys were playing for it to, you know, get back on its game, and then you had this gap down, and then on a pro gap down that doesn't fill it. You know, this day might not have been your out this day, and then you could have saved yourself this entire mess. So, with that being said, I could talk for hours, but I'm not going to do it today because I have things I have to do. I just want to do a quick midday call. Listen, tape's not easy. They're not giving money away. They rarely do. Some sequences are better than others with more participation. For this one, we'll just have to continue to be, you know, very selective, not get stubborn, and pick the trades when they're there. And when they're not there, cash is a position, and you can wait. You can always wait for the next one. What that does is it saves, you know, trading capital and brain capital. And brain capital is the most important. So then this way, when things are conducive to your style, you're feeling good and you can execute. And with that said, I wish everyone has a great day. And I will, if you're on RAA, I'll see you at the recap. If not, maybe I'll see you here for the midday call tomorrow. Have a good one.